What's up, mob? Hey, how we doing? So, we got some interesting stuff today. McAdoo makes a good decision. The Trumps go riding, and much more on this episode. But remember, guys, subscribe. People are still getting unsubscribed for no reason. I don't know why. Just check, make sure you're still subscribed. And if you're not, hey, I would appreciate it if you did. So, all right, guys, let's get into this.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
So in the past, I've been very critical of Cameron McAdoo. He is one of the single toughest human beings I've ever seen. This dude's pain tolerance it's through the roof. He can ride through anything. The problem is, it's not the pain, is his injuries are so bad that he has weakness in certain parts of his bodies, and he still is willing to go out there. This guy is the definition of a warrior, but he also has to be kind of protected from himself. But kudos to him for sitting out. He's got a broken scapula, which, trust me, I don't think he would just ride through it if he felt like it. In fact, I mean, he even tried to ride this last weekend with that broken scapula, but you could see in the first part of that main event, if you watch that rhythm section, his left arm was so weak. I think that's why he crossed over into his teammate Levi Kitchen and caused that accident. And maybe that was enough to wake up the guys at Pro Circuit like, hey, maybe he is a little bit of a danger out there. Maybe he should sit down. But either way, kudos to McAdoo. Get well. We'll see you soon. And guess what? You're not going to be champions, so you don't have to go 450. God, I guess that's a good thing. Your career might last longer that way. So Ivanka Trump and her family were at the Miami Motocross facility out riding, and I think it's awesome. Anytime we have people this famous embracing our sport, it's good. So much so that Feld goes out of their way to bring in every celebrity they can find at every Supercross round. Yet, when the Trumps rode at this track that really needs some support, I guess this track is kind of struggling there in Miami, for them to go out there, ride bikes, and represent, it's kind of cool. I don't care where you land politically. Anyone this famous embraces the sport, it's good. If you want to know if the motocross media, Racer X, Vital, where these companies lean, notice none of them covered it because they're all kind of, you guys know, liberals. But anyway, I'm covering it because I think it's awesome that they're riding, and I don't care what side of the fence you're on. It helps the sport. And hey, guess what? Liberals, Ivanka was riding a Sur-Ron electric bike, so there you go. There's your nugget. And when you're out riding, if you want to control your sweat rate, or you need like a recovery drink that measures your sweat rate and kind of replenishes you the way your body needs to, go to Complete Racing Solutions. Coach Rob formulates these specifically for each person. Go to CompleteRacingSolutions.com and get your customized drink. Epic Garage Designs, they have the coolest stuff. And they partnered with A1 Garage Door and the Las Vegas Golden Knights, and they're giving away a complete garage makeover. If you're in the Las Vegas area, make sure you get registered. You don't want to miss out on this. These things are literally epic. So, epicgaragedesigns.com. So I went to BetOnline AG to check the line to see what the odds were today, and they still don't have them up. They've been I think they might have thrown in the towel. So if you want to gamble, go to a company that supports privateer Logan Leitzel. And if you haven't checked it out, I did an interview with him earlier in this week talking about the McAdoo incident and much more. What a great guy. Underdog Fantasy Sports sponsors Logan Leitzel. If you want to support a company that actually helps a privateer, go to Underdog Fantasy. They're doing Supercross gambling over there. Screw betonline.ag. And by the way, I'm not getting paid by either one of them. And with BetOnline kind of putting a half-assed effort or throwing in the towel, that brings me to Evan Ferry. Oh boy. So Evan Ferry went on the Pulpamex show on Monday to talk about what happened with Triumph.
It just wasn't just wasn't comfortable. I wouldn't even say that it was anything that to do with the bike, the personnel. Just wasn't really just wasn't feeling like myself. Honestly, right now, physically, I feel like I'm the strongest I've been. I've done a lot of cycling, a little bit of gym, but honestly, just
as soon as they got asked about it, he goes, I don't really want to talk about the past. I want to talk about the future. And Steve asked him, well, what do you got going on? He's like, nothing. Oh my. You want to talk about a poorly prepared, spoiled brat? That's Evan Ferry. I can see why he's not on the team anymore.
Not being able to post, not being able to, do the Insta bangers. Like I find a lot of joy in, you're riding, you're doing your motos, you're doing your 335s or whatever you're doing that day, which that was a cool story that I could go back into about last year too. But After you're done doing your motos, you go rail a couple turns and throw some whips, and then on the way home, you're sitting there, you're editing your videos, and you're doing all of that. I feel like to promote yourself, and promote your brands and all of that. And I feel like that's a huge part of the sport and where I feel like it's kind of gone here recently. I feel like a lot of this social media stuff, obviously with Deegan and some of those guys having huge following platforms.
He basically said that, he was depressed because he's not on Instagram getting his self-esteem boosted. He is the epitome of a spoon-fed kid who's had everything handed to him and expects the world. This guy doesn't understand the struggles that some of these privateers and arena cross racers, Crockett Myers, Ryan Brees, these guys work their asses off to have opportunities like he just gets handed to him. And, everybody talks about Hayden Deegan getting everything handed to him. Evan Ferry got everything that Hayden was, they both were on similar paths. Look at the difference. Hayden Deegan, he rides like his life depends on it. Evan Ferry just doesn't seem to care, and it shows. And as far as I don't see him ever getting this on track. With that kind of an attitude, he'll be working a parts counter here pretty soon at some local shop. Guys, head over to RideStrap to get your goggles, glasses, shirts, and just a cool company, ridestrap.com. And if you're shipping anything using a truck, use Precision Transport. Family owned, reasonably priced, best company out there. Go to pretransport.com. So it looks like Ken Roczen's out for the remainder of this Supercross season, and that's such a bummer. But that was a wild crash when his shock blew out. I don't think I've ever seen that happen. I don't ever remember seeing a shock just explode like that, especially heading into a whoop section where you don't have time to even slow down and catapult him. It was a real, that sucked. Poor Ken just got launched. And I was wondering, what does he do now? And I went to check the World Supercross schedule, and it's not out yet. So I got worried. I'm like, okay, what's going on with the World Supercross series? I reached out to some people. The teams have a schedule. There is a schedule. I don't know why they're not releasing it. Maybe somebody at the PR department thinks it's better to wait till this Supercross series is over. I do know Adam Bailey was at Anaheim. I don't know if maybe he's decided to play nice with Feld and MX Sports. I don't know what's going on. Something's going on there, but that series is still a go. I don't know when it starts, but hopefully Ken Roczen will be healed up and ready to go for World Supercross. And it sounds like Eli Tomac is going to go outdoors, and I couldn't be happier. Eli Tomac Racing Outdoors is a gift to all of us. I really want to see how he does against Jet Lawrence in that outdoor series. And it's not confirmed or anything, but Steve Mathis, who's tight with the Yamaha guys, said it sounds like it's almost a done deal. And I trust him on that one. That was a pretty good one. And I just hope he's right. That's all. All right, guys, if you need a real estate agent and you're in the Las Vegas area, hit me up. I'm your guy. If you're anywhere else in the country, I can find you a Berkshire Hathaway agent that will get you dialed in. Just hit me up, chriscookseymedia@gmail.com. And remember, guys, my MMA channel's killing it. I did some stuff with Ronda Rousey, went after Joe Rogan. I'll show you a little clip from there, but if you want the full video, head over to Cooksey Media MMA. Thanks, guys. Later.
It turned on me, and how, people like Joe Rogan, who were like crying in the ring out of the honor of being able to call my fights, had people that I considered friends in the media so quickly, turned on me. And I also am kind of grateful for it in a way, because it forced me to separate my outside people, other people's perception of me from my own perception of myself, which I had realized had really become intertwined. When you have that kind of outpouring of love and support from people, it's like you're being love bombed by the world, and you're like, how do I keep this going? How do I keep this going? And it was pushing me into a lifestyle that I felt like it was to impress everybody else.
So Ronda Rousey is really, she's kind of going a little bit vindictive these days. She's after Joe Rogan. She called him names. She's like, listen, as soon as my fighting career was done, they all dumped me, the MMA media.
And I get that they're a bunch of assholes. That's what I get. I get fuck you. But, at least I would rather not have those fake friendships in my life. I would rather that those people expose